When we talk about stress in the holidays, we can't leave out the most important part. They're the best part of the holidays and the worst part of the holidays. Our family. I do love my family, by the way. And most of you do as well. Even though we love them, they can stress us out. Most adult children at some point feel this way. Can't wait to see my family, and I can't wait to get away from them. So let's talk about how we can be with our families at the holidays, love, appreciate, and enjoy them, and also minimize the stress that it creates. So first of all, let's talk about why our families can stress us out so much. Well, we grow up in a family. And if you've had a psychology class, you probably know that the family is referred to as a system. So any group of people that do something together, from a family to a business to a church, are a system. And the system has a tendency to put you into a certain role or position, place. Even if we grow up, move away, and we break through some of those roles that we didn't like. The member that we were in our family, the role that we played in our family, somehow going back to be with all of those same people, we find ourselves sort of back in that same role again, much to our chagrin. Also, our families know how to push our buttons, literally and figuratively. They know everything about us, and sometimes that means they know how to upset us. They know the very things to say that will make us feel stressed or bad about ourselves or really, really angry. Just knowing that you are not alone, and most people have that love you, can't stand being around you feeling about our families sometimes. That should help you know that everybody else is kind of going through some of the same thing you are. So let me just mention a few things that maybe just reframing these in your mind will help. It's a short period of time. Whether you're going to spend Thanksgiving or Christmas or maybe both with your family, it's a limited amount of time. You can get through it. Now, consider how much time you want to spend. Most adults go for a couple days, 3, 4. If you're planning to spend more than a few days with your family, ask, is that the best choice? And if your family is really a dysfunctional family, meaning there's not just stress, there's abuse, a lot of verbal abuse, there's a lot of pain, and maybe you are very vulnerable about some things that happened in your family of origin, you can make a choice as an adult either to not go home for the holidays or maybe just to limit your contact. Now, if you're just the average person like me, I love my family. There was no sort of abuse or trauma or violence in my family, nothing horribly painful. In fact, now that my parents aren't around anymore, I realize how much I actually loved spending time with them. But there was a time when I thought that was really stressful. So that's another thing I want to challenge you with. If you are adults going home to visit your parents or grandparents for the holidays, let me say this to you. There will come a time when they won't be there anymore. Think about that when they're really stressing you out this year. Because the truth is, I would give just about anything to spend one more Christmas with my mom or one more Christmas with my dad, especially before they got sick, before they got dementia. So think about that when your families are stressing you out, that at some point they won't even be there. So that will make you more grateful for the precious moments you do have with them. Okay, a few really practical tips about family conflict. Do your best to avoid certain topics. Okay, we know in general that we tell people not to talk about two things, politics and religion. So let's just go ahead and say we're going to keep that number one firmly implanted. Try not to talk about politics with your family. Now, unless you just all happen to have voted for the same person in the recent elections, or you're all very clearly affiliated with the same political party, try to avoid it. Now, you may say, but my Uncle Bill or my grandmother, they're going to bring this up. Have some nifty tricks up your sleeve that the very minute they start talking about politics, you have an idea of how to switch the subject. And here are a couple ideas for doing that. Do you remember the time? Yeah, everybody likes to reminisce about holidays past, something really funny or really joyous that happened. So if people start talking about politics and you know it's going down that road of conflict, stop it and redirect the conversation. Have a story in your mind or a plan and start talking about something else, something that people not only won't fight over, but they'll bond over. It actually works a lot of the time. Another thing we talk about not talking about is religion. And you may say, but the holidays are all about religion. Actually, no, they're about faith. That's different. Do your best not to let the differences come between you, but that unites you be more important. Okay, now I'm going to talk a little bit to the adults. Okay, no, the seniors of the family, no matter how old you are, the older members of the family. If you have kids that don't agree with your particular religious faith, this is not the time to nag them, complain, dig, or even evangelize. It's a time to love them. It's the time to affirm them. So regardless of your age, talk about the things that really matter, and that is how much you love your family members and what you love about them. So rather than complaining about the things you don't like about them, try this. Pick 3 really wonderful things. And the first thing you say to them should be something really positive. And it can be something you love about them, something you're grateful for, something you appreciate. Try not to nag your family members. That's actually going to really cause problems at this time of year. And it's actually not going to improve your relationship with them ever. But especially now, Thanksgiving, Christmas, the holidays, try to focus on the positive. Also, with your families, try to be gracious. Try to be generous. And if they do say unkind or stupid things, don't repay evil for evil. Don't try to one-up them by insulting them back. Try to be the bigger person and quickly, again, change the subject. If they say something hurtful or just, them, try to remember it's probably not because they're trying to hurt you or they don't love you. They probably just believe or think something differently than you do. So be generous, change the subject, or even try this. You remember me telling you to say something wonderful about them? Well, when Aunt Harriet tells you, you look like you've gained a little weight, say, Aunt Harriet, I love that blouse. Green is really your color. Yeah, try giving a compliment back to them. Most people will get very distracted by the positive thing you've said to them, and they'll have forgot that they were going to insult you or complain or nag you about something. So going in one with a game plan, when somebody says something to you that they usually say that annoys you or upsets you, or they ask you that question, those are my favorite, right? You're going to get a question like, when are you and that person, your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, going to get married? Or when are you going to have a baby? Or when are you going to join the church? Or fill in the blank. Whatever it is that your family wants you to do that you just don't have in your own plans, or that has become a sore subject, a source of pain. Think about a comeback. Think now, because you won't be able to remember it when they say that. Not a comeback that's a dig or an angry insult, but what you're going to say to deflect, or a positive thing again that you're going to say about them. And then you'll be prepared for that. Also, figure out how you're going to get past that funk that your family members know how to get you in by pushing your buttons, by asking the question that you don't want to answer, or by insulting you in the way they always do. You've got to have a way to change your mind. not let those things get to you the way they usually do. And here's just an idea. Think about the things that you really like about yourself. That's hard for some people. But if you go in with those things in your mind, and then if you're feeling bad, feeling down, feeling low, think about the things that you really like about yourself in your life. In fact, that's just a great way to cope with holiday stress or depression or grief, because we can all come up with 3 things that we really love about ourselves or our lives right now. 3's not that many. Start thinking about that. Have them on a note card in your purse or in your wallet. Think about them so that you'll have them there when the stress of your family starts getting you down. Hey, before you go, if you found this helpful or you really liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe below, and tell your friends.